it is, man. Detroit versus everybody, man. Detroit, we rep the hardest, man. We gain the hardest. You know what it is, man. Detroit, CJ, holla at your boy when we get home.
All right, my bad. Tony Harrison wants the Charlo third fight. Says I don't want to die saying I'm even with you. And obviously, for a while after his father passed, and I always sad to hear that. He didn't look like he deserves the Charlo third fight. He had a pedestrian comeback fight. I forgot who he fought, and I'm gonna always be real, even with my Detroit people. That's just the way I am. He didn't look like he deserved Charlo third fight, but obviously rightfully so. No Emmanuel Stewart around anymore. Rest in power to him. No, his father ain't around no more. Rest in power to him. His brother, him and his brother trying to find that report. His brother now, in that cockpit, piloting in that plane, and there's gonna be some fill out period. People don't understand the science. Boxing is like the ultimate camaraderie sport when you talk about your team, and I think the Deontay Wilder situation, with Mark Breland kind of really showed that. And over time and time again, sometimes it's more about the camaraderie than it is about the X's and O's. You look at, Danny and Angel and Devin and Bill, and, sometimes it's about that camaraderie. It ain't just X's and O's in that corner. And obviously you got to kind of get a feel. And I think him and his brother, they brought in, I forget my man's name, in there to kind of get him that veteran guidance. I mean, kind of like with Gary Russell and his brother, not the last fight he had, but the fight before last, Gary Anton Russell had with not the last fight, the one before. He had that my bad, it was the Gary Russell fight, excuse me. And Gary Russell had my man's in his corner kind of before his father passed, kind of helping him out. And I think, you need that OG in the corner. A lot of these dudes you see, especially these fathers in the sport, a lot of these dudes got OGs behind him. Virgil Hunter got an OG behind him. I forget the guy name that helped him with Andre Ward. He's an older, dark-skinned gentleman. He got a couple interviews out here. Don Turner, I think, was helping John David Jackson as well, too. So it's a lot of OGs around a lot of these trainers, man. So you always want to keep that knowledge in the corner. A lot of these dudes, these fathers and shit like that, the guys you see with the good amateur teams and the good fighters coming up, man, a lot of these dudes, lean on each other, especially the brothers in Philadelphia. And you don't see, Brother Nas helped a lot of people out. And I'm pretty sure Bernard Hopkins and everybody else in Philadelphia, they don't go looking for financial credit or they network. They help these guys out because, when the fighters in Philadelphia do good, the community do well. So I think his father, I forget my man's, they had in a corner with him for Tony Harrison last fight, and then probably had him in camp. That probably helped as well, too, to smooth that transition out, too. So, now he's back on track. It was the Brian Perella fight he looked pretty bad in, but, I admit that he lost that fight. I'm not going to lie, but he came back, looked good versus Sergio Garcia. A lot of people thought Sergio Garcia had just beat Fondor or it was a very competitive fight. And obviously for PBC, they should be willing to do this third fight, to be honest. They wasn't all about doing undisputed. No way. They wasn't about pulling up, doing undisputed, none of that shit. They about doing what's best for them. And obviously what's best for them was doing undisputed because, they got that WBO belt away from Brian Castanos, and they was able to bring that belt back on the PBC side. Then it made a lot of sense. But for them, and where, Fox is looking for better ratings, Showtime is looking for better ratings, this fight got to be at the top of the list. Now, I know people saying, well, he need to go fight Sebastian Fondor, which sound about right. But at the end of the day, they need ratings. And, Al Heyman is in danger of getting defunded by Espinoza and Showtime. And what they want is fights like this. We didn't know what we was getting. Once again, like I said the other day, I broke this news that this fight was going down. Don't forget that. I was the first one on the internet that knew that this fight was going down. When they couldn't find Charlo an opponent, guess what? Tony Harrison stepped down. We can go to that video and look at the comment section, and a lot of people's down to Tony Harrison because he had lost to Willie Nelson and to Jared Hurd, and they both was competitive losses. And the one thing that he had to learn to do was just stop throwing every shot with knockout intentions, change the speed of his shots. And obviously The first Charlo fight, it was competitive. He got the victory. There was some politics going in there where they had to humble Charlo for being too braggadocious or being too arrogant, and I would just say ignorant, and being unapproachable with some of the fans and employees at PBC and Fox and Showtime. Yeah, I think that was something to do. I think his brother had beat Brandon Adams, and Kelly Swanson turned that nigga mic off when he started to talk shit in the back. So at the end of the day, he knew what it was about. It was about taming that lion, and he just too edgy. I remember he was in Houston. I think his brother was fighting in Houston, and somebody was telling me, they from Houston or whatever, was telling me that they seen somebody approach him and they want to, do some business about their t-shirts. The man had his son with him. He's like, oh no, girl, I got my own mother t-shirts, nigga. Oh, my motherfucker. And somebody's son was there with him. They was just trying to approach him about a business opportunity instead of saying, oh no, thanks, and I got my own stuff, man. But hey, I'll rock y'all shit, man. Rock the Lions only gear. Here y'all go. Instead of doing that, that's the type of tip he be on. That's the type of tip he be on. And he turned a lot of people off. And I'm just being real. He turned a lot of people off with that attitude. But Tony Harrison was able. That's the one fight that Charlo actually was selling. Tony Harrison was the perfect opponent for him. He was the perfect opponent for him. Somebody that can kind of make him, kind of sell him to the public, and they sold that fight. Remember, they was like walking off the set or whatever and saying, well, I say, y'all selling this fight. That's what the PBC need. They need a guy like Tony Harrison to bring that out of Jermell Charlo. Not the dog. We know he got dog in him, but to bring the commercial appeal out. They be striking gold and don't even know they be striking gold sometimes, dude. You know what I'm saying? And that's for sure. Like, well, how Wilder was so popular because he was knocking people out and people frequently on free TV in a lot of prominent cars. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're talking about. That's what you're talking about. That's what you want. That became a commercial appeal, and they did some great numbers. That's what Showtime want. That's what they want. And right now, that's what they're not delivering. Fights with commercial appeal. For all you want, they should have them niggas fight 10 times in a row if they're gonna continue to sell like that. Let's be real. They should have them fight 10 times in a row. Let's keep it real. Shit, I would. He says, still Harrison is throughout it all. Harrison tips his cat to a longtime rival for his recent historical victory. He said, quote, I still don't like the mother effer to this day. Said Harrison to Forecast Network. Quote, he still don't like me to this day, but kudos to that man for breaking the barrier in history. But he still is a hoe ass nigga to me. But he's a good hoe ass nigga. He's a good effing fighter. He goes on and say, I don't want your belts. We can fight at a catch weight, so you can keep your belts. But I want to get that. I want to get down pat for the people, for your people standpoint and my people standpoint. Who's better between the two? I don't want to die I don't want to die saying I'm even with you when I don't even like you, and you don't like me when we can just fight again. I know you don't want to be tied up with me. I don't want to be tied up with you. Let's break the cycle. And at the standpoint for PBC, not even talking about for Jermell Charlo, he felt that he put an exclamation point by knocking him out. I ain't knocking that. But from a commercial standpoint of view, I mean, you don't have much to do at 160 pounds. Ain't no commercial appeal up there. Triple G ain't coming back down to fight y'all. There's nobody there to fight. Chris Eubanks wouldn't even fight your brother. He ran when it was time to fight Jermell Charlo, ran back to Katie Sutherland, whatever his name is. From a commercial appeal, you need that fight to sell. And that's what the networks want on a regular basis, dude. They want fights like that not only, is good fights inside the boxing ring, but man, they drag people from outside the boxing world in to see the fight. That's what they want. That's what they want. That's exactly what they're looking for. This fight had the mass appeal. Everybody was tuning in to see this fight because they built it up so good. And it wasn't their intent at all. It wasn't their intent. They fucked around and built this fight up. You do it a third time, the iron might not be hot no more, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure Tony Harrison and him can get that iron back hot. I'm pretty sure they can get the iron back hot. You know, that was some good stuff. And if they struggle to know what ingredients they need, bro, man, it ain't hard to tell, dude. It ain't hard to tell. This is exactly what you need. Exactly what you need. But hey, like I said before, obviously Tony Harrison don't want to go through Fondora. I don't blame him. I ain't gonna lie. You know, but Jermell Charlo need these fights. He needs something that's gonna transcend public appeal. And after that second fight, if you be, that after that second fight, that justified Harrison and Charlo 3 justified pay-per-view more than Wilder, Helenius, Ortiz and Areola. I mean, Ortiz and Ruiz and Areola. More than all that shit, Spence and Ugas, Spence and Porter. It justified pay-per-view more than all that shit. Because it delivered on a public scale, a regular public American scale, and it delivered in the ring. That's what they need. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live, drop video. Financially, want to support the channel. Cash App, $, CJ Good 313, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Hit the link tree. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and much more. Check out the Boston's playlist. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.